It's lunch money time, ladies and gentlemen. Today's lunch money is brought to you by FTX. FTX, they've got some of the lowest fees in the entire industry. Usually they're about 85% lower fees than many of their competitors. On top of that, FTX also not only has incredible liquidity and great pricing, they are in beta, have the stocks that they're going to bring to the market. Now, the reason why this is so interesting is when they bring those stocks, you are going to be able to buy stocks with no transaction fees, zero transaction fees, and they will also not conduct payment for order flow, meaning that they're not going to take your trades and go send them to hedge funds to then front run you. FTX trying to bring together Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, digital stocks all into one place and just keep focusing on innovation and getting the cost to actually go and purchase these assets as low as possible. FTX is also just cool ass brand. They got the arena in Miami. I'm a big fan. Think that they're absolutely pushing the pace of innovation. Let's go check them out. You can click on the link in the description. Pompliano, how are you? Good to see you.
Oh wait, that's not me.
There
God! Oh, I was.
That was a magic trick.
Ghost?
That was a magic. Are you a ghost?
Oh,
don't start with the ghost.
For a second, I thought I was a ghost.
Don't start with the ghost shit.
Well, wait. Can I tell a quick story about the ghost?
Yes.
Okay. So one of my friends, I'll not say who she is, but she basically was like, "Oh my God, I forgot I left the shower on, and I went on a walk with my husband, and then he was like." They came back and he was like, "Did you leave the shower on?" And she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I don't know what I was thinking." And I was like, "Let me teach you a one-sentence solution to such a problem. Anytime that happens to me, I say, 'Oh my God, we must have a ghost.'" And he accepts it and then we move on. What? It's true.
I'm ready to start.
Okay. All right. So.
I don't fuck with ghosts.
I'm not a ghost. So Senator Kristen Gillibrand, who's a Democrat, and Cynthia Lummis, who's a Republican, have been collaborating on a bill that would kind of propose some crypto regulation so people know what the rules of the road are. And their offices touted this bill as a landmark bipartisan legislation that will create a complete regulatory framework for digital assets that encourages responsible financial innovation, flexibility, transparency, and robust consumer protections while integrating digital assets into existing law. So this is important, right? Because until now, it's kind of been like a dark box of like, what are we doing? We want to innovate, but we don't want to piss anybody off.
The single most important word in all of this is bipartisan. If there's one thing in our polarized world that brings together Republicans and Democrats, it's Bitcoin. And the reason is because Bitcoin is the embodiment of every single one of the American ethos. Democracy, capitalism, freedom of speech, the right to private property, the right to be able to protect your private property. All of that is embodied in Bitcoin. And so naturally, seeing them say, hey, we need regulatory clarity, that makes a lot of sense to me. And to have them come together on both sides of the aisle, that makes a lot of sense to me. And the fact that they are saying that they will put it under the CFTC makes a lot of sense to me. One of the problems that we have in America, in my personal opinion, is that we don't teach financial education in school. Why don't we teach financial education in school? A big part of it is because the people who are teaching in school don't know shit about money. The teachers, they don't know anything. How are they supposed to teach it? They don't know. Most people's parents, they weren't successful financially. So how are they supposed to teach it? So of course, if the two people who teach you the most in life weren't good at something, it's hard for them to teach it. So a second piece of it would be, well, why don't we send people into the schools who are good at teaching this stuff so that they then can share that information? Well, it's because the government just steps in and says, don't worry, we'll protect you. We'll make sure that you can't invest in anything that could possibly have risk associated with it. And that's where all this regulation comes in. But at the end of the day, what I know is that in the United States, we have taken the idea of the rich get richer and written it into law. It's called accreditation laws. The private market, which has captured a lion's share of returns over the last decade. If you do not make more than $200,000 a year, you cannot invest in the private market. If you do not have a household net worth of over $1 million, you cannot invest in the private market. The accreditation laws prevent people from investing. You can go buy lottery tickets, you can go to the casino, but God forbid if you had a chance to invest in Uber or Facebook or Airbnb
Yeah, that
or
is
Stripe or anything else?
Why is gambling legal? Why is Vegas around?
It's because
I won money on blackjack.
Remember during the pandemic?
Yes.
Do you remember? Alcohol sales.
Okay, but that was a different.
They were still rolling. You could go buy lottery tickets. If the government can get revenue, they keep those things open. All of a sudden, they were saying, hey, essentials, let's keep them open. Why? It's because they tax the shit out of those things. The lottery is literally a tax on stupid people in America.
Well, sometimes it, like
No, and then they say we're going to take the money and fund our
Schools.
we're going to fund our schools. Imagine that.
Well, I think that's good.
You think it's good?
Yeah.
I think that what they should do is they should say to people,
I went to school on the Hope Scholarship in Georgia for all of those who know. It's funded by the lottery.
I think that what they should do is they should not have the government encouraging people to gamble. I don't care if they're getting tax revenue or not. If the private market wants to do it, fine. But why should the government be allowed to do it?
I don't know.
Why are there states where online gambling or sports gambling is illegal, but the government can have lotteries?
I don't know.
Well, I know exactly why. It's because the government's making money. Go ahead, next.
Yeah, I wish we could solve this today, but we can't. Okay.
I don't think we're going to solve anything today.
So where are we even here?
Recession.
All right. So recession. Oh yeah, recession. So the CEO of ServiceNow, which is like software company, I just looked it up, says that current economic downturn is not even close to 2008 crisis. He said this is not even close to 2008. In 2008, I was with a company where we lost €1 billion on pipeline in a day. That was a crisis. He says that if anything, this is a crisis of opportunity. I don't know about this.
Well, I agree and I disagree. I don't
I
think that it's
kinda
anywhere near the 2008 crisis
But how does
yet.
he know?
Yet,
How does he know?
Yet.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, he can look at the data and see that it's nowhere near what it was.
Right now, but it could be.
It could get worse. So that unknown so far, but as of the moment, it's not. I disagree that it's a crisis of opportunity. That's a little bit of a stretch. It feels like people who have liquidity, strong balance sheet, et cetera, they may be able to capitalize, but I don't know if you can call it a crisis of opportunity. There's a lot of people that are suffering at the moment. And the worst part about this entire thing is since the beginning of this pandemic, which, by the way, has been over for a very long time in certain states, they, being the central banks and the politicians, created undisciplined monetary and fiscal policy, and they punished the bottom 45% of Americans. When asset prices exploded upwards, if you're in the bottom 45%, you had no investable assets, you did not participate in the upswing at all. You just got hit with high inflation. Now, as they are crashing the asset prices and they are pushing us closer and closer to economic contraction and potentially a recession, the same 45% of the people on the bottom, they're getting hurt again. And so it doesn't matter. Good time, bad time, they just keep getting hurt. It's not good. But I don't know if I would agree that this is a crisis of opportunity yet. Because it's kind of like we've just had a reversion to the mean.
He basically said that it's a crisis opportunity because the digital transformation market is $11 trillion in the next few years. If you're going to fight inflation, you're going to keep your employees inspired no matter where they work from.
Sounds like he's talking in his book. I'm sure he's a nice guy.
I don't buy it, sorry.
All right, what's up with childcare?
Childcare. So I was thinking about this. There really hasn't been a ton of innovation in childcare since like care.com. Like I can't think of another platform that's as popular for finding.
What do you want? Virtual diapers?
What?
Virtual diapers? Those won't work.
There's just like one company. It's like a monopoly. I'm not even sure it's that good. So finding and affording childcare is one of the biggest challenges that parents face. So now there's this company called Kinside that makes the process easier by not only providing a marketplace of verified carers, but they also help parents tap into like flexible spending accounts and other benefits to afford the care. They're raising $12 million in Series A funding from mothers. Like the round was led by mothers. So they include Sasha McKenzie of Wellington Ventures, Joanna Drake of Magnify Ventures, Initialized, Alda Lou Dennis, and Maven Ventures Sarah Despont. I think that's cool.
Big problem, obviously.
What's the problem?
I think that
childcare, you mean? Not.
Yeah, well, I mean, I actually have a very interesting thought about childcare.
What do you have?
Some people may disagree with me on this, but I think that one of the great luxuries of life is as somebody becomes more financially secure, they have time to spend with their kids. Some people choose not to do it, but it becomes something that is much more obvious or available. And so in some ways, these companies, what they're really trying to do is they're trying to help parents who are trying to juggle a lot of different things, right? Like, I think a lot about there's people that you and I know, they're single mothers. They may have one job that's very grueling, maybe sometimes two. I'm sure that we know people who have, two jobs plus a side hustle, whatever, and they're trying to take care of their kid.
Yeah.
And it's just like they are superhuman.
I know. I
I don't
honestly
understand how they do it.
I can't.
And unfortunately, if that's the situation you're in, usually you may not have the financial means to go and hire somebody like this. And so it ends up being this like very interesting balance of like, how do you solve the problem for the people who need it most, but also be able to build a business that is sustainable, that can last for a long time, so you can service millions and millions of people who need the help.
That's why I think on the surface it looks like this company is interesting, because not only do you find the caregiver, but they also help you pay and afford that caregiver.
Oh, there's like a financing component.
Yeah.
To it. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, look at that. I didn't even know that.
They help them tap into FSAs and other benefits to.
Got it. Okay. All right. Next.
All right. So this is interesting. 73% of affluent investors in Asia intend to hold some form of digital assets by the end of 2022, according to a new report by Accenture. Why are you laughing? Accenture is doing these reports.
You said 73%?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that 27% of affluent people in Asia are stupid.
Why?
If you're a wealthy person and you don't have exposure at this point to digital assets of any kind, whether it's stable coins, Bitcoin, something else, whatever, you got to start to ask yourself, like, where you been?
Well, it's hard to ask that when
we're not talking about the
market
bottom.
is down.
No. It's like saying, Zoom is down 90% from the peak.
Is it really?
Google it, yeah. I think Zoom stock, I think it's down 90% or something like that from the peak. And so it's at $114. Go back up here. Yep, click 5 year.
5 year?
Yeah, what was it at before?
Where?
What was that number right there?
492, 559.
So it's at 559 and it's at what, $114. So it's down like 80%.
Yeah, but that was also 2020 when.
Again, I'm just saying, down 80%.
Yeah.
And so what ends up happening is over that same time period, pre-pandemic to now, Bitcoin's up 300%. Mm-hmm. Right? Bitcoin has outperformed stocks, bonds, currencies, commodities, whatever. I'm not saying you got to go and put all of your money in, but I'm saying at this point, there's questions that you have to ask somebody who is sophisticated, who has the financial means, who does not have exposure.
Well, despite the rising interest among Asia's investors, most wealth management firms in the region do not yet offer clients a digital asset proposition.
So that could be one argument.
Yeah, and if you're listening to your wealth advisor.
Yeah. I think that's one thing, is that if you only operate through it, but it goes back to the same idea. It's like you're responsible for your own wealth. If you are relying on somebody else, that is not going to work out very well for you. Mm-hmm. Right? All right, what's next?
All right, so there's this lady in California who was scrolling through Craigslist, and she found 2 sofas and a matching chair that somebody was giving away for free. And so then she made the startling discovery to find more than $36,000 in cash hidden inside one of the cushions.
That's a lot of coins.
What?
What'd she do with it? Did
wild?
she keep it or give it back?
Well, she said, I just moved in. I don't have anything in my house. I was so excited, so we picked it up and brought it in. Oh, wait, this is about before she found the money. Sorry.
All right.
Okay, and then she thought it was a heat pad, but it wasn't the heat pad. And then she told her son to come over here. This is money. She tried to call the guy, and then she said she was never tempted to keep what she found. She said she immediately gave the money back to the family who gave her the furniture.
She's a good person right there.
Wow. She said, God has been kind to me and my children. They're all alive and well. I have 3 beautiful grandchildren, so what can I ever ask from God? That's so nice.
What always impresses me about these stories is a woman who's on Craigslist getting free furniture.
Right.
Is the one who
is given. I know.
Gives the money back.
I know.
Right? It's just good people, man.
Well, so as a way of saying thank you, the family agreed to give her $2,200, money she needed to buy a new refrigerator. And she said, I was not expecting a dime from him. I was not. That's awesome. How do I find this woman?
What?
I'm going to find this woman.
All right. I don't want to be involved in this. I do like that the family gave her.
I do too. But come
something
on,
like
if
a
you,
finder's fee.
honestly, if I just give her all of it, you gave it to her.
Well,
She found it.
it's $36,000.
Why was it in their cushion?
That is a question that I don't want the answer to.
All right. Well, if somebody can help me
also-
find this lady,
Also, it's not like you left some coins.
what is her name?
Like coins are one thing, but
Vicky.
a packet of cash is pretty aggressive.
What a great
$36,000. All right. Anything
Okay.
else you got for us?
No, that is all I have. Does anybody else have anything for me?
People are asking in the chat about. I take live Ask
okay.
Lunch Money. People are asking me in the chat about quitting their jobs.
About why?
They're saying like, "Hey, should you quit your job and then go try to find a new one, or should you find the new one and then quit your job?" And the short answer is like every situation is different.
Yeah.
As one person described, if you have a job that is affecting your mental health, then yeah, maybe you need to scoot on out of there.
Scoot.
But one of the key things is ideally you can find a new job before you quit your old job. Right now, there's about 11 million open jobs in America.
Wow.
If you don't like your job, you probably can find another one. And if you have not gotten a pay raise in the last 2 years, you are unlikely to be being paid more than you were then. You're probably getting
What is that
paid
advice
less.
that your dad gave you? It was like if you're at a company for more than.
Oh, my dad one time told me, he said, many people work at a place for 10 years, and some people get 10 years of experience, but many people get 2 years of experience five times.
It's so true.
Right? And if you think about it, like if you basically have been if you've been somewhere for 4 years and you got 90% of the value of what you learned, et cetera, in the first 2 years, and now you're just basically doing the same thing over and over and over again, you're not growing, you're not learning more, then if you stay there for a decade, like, yeah, you just got 2 years of experience 5 times. And so it can be very beneficial to say, hey, look, I want to grow. I want to go do something. But I also think that there's a huge piece of this being it's on you. Like that's another thing that a lot of people I think forget is that you can work at a company and I always say, one, get paid obviously your salary, but either try to get equity or try to get some sort of upside in the performance of the business. Then what you want to be able to do is you want to be able to make sure that you're constantly learning. But a lot of people go to work and they're like, man, I don't learn nothing here. I don't learn nothing here. I don't learn nothing here. I'm like,
That's me.
Okay. And then I always say to them, like, what are you doing to learn? What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why are you not going and seeking new information? Why are you not doing this? And the truth is, I think what a lot of people have realized is when you go to work, if people are really honest with themselves, right? It's kind of like school. Polina and I were talking the other day about school. If you send your kid to school, how much time do they actually spend learning? So let's say the kid's school starts at 8 o'clock and they get out at 3. That's 7 hours, right? If my math is correct there. And so they're at school for 7 hours, but they probably do like 3 hours of learning. You have homeroom, you've got lunch, you've got recess, you've got the time between classes, you've got the actual time to get into the classroom, sit down, calm everyone down. Yeah, then okay, let's start packing up our stuff before. Like when you actually add it all up, my guess is about half of the time. So about 3.5 hours or so of learning out of the 7 hour.
And for you, it was
day.
probably even less than that.
I got
Let's be real.
I got what I would consider a hallway education.
I don't want to know about those street pants in the hallway.
That's literally what I got. I got a hallway education. A hallway education has 3 pillars to it, if I had to describe it. The first pillar of a hallway education is that you constantly are trying to figure out how to get out of the classroom into the hallway.
Okay.
And that requires sales, marketing, recruiting. That requires a lot of complex thinking, critical skills, requires problem solving, etc.
He's making this shit up on the spot.
How to get out of the classroom into the hallway. That's the pillar 1 of hallway education. The second thing is that you spend as much time in the hallway before you have to go into the next class. So
what does that require?
Usually that requires, oh shit, I didn't do the homework. Yo, did you do the homework? Hey, come over here real quick. Let me just quickly, let's work together on this shit. Okay,
so collaboration.
Collaboration skills, teamwork, problem solving, critical thinking, persuasion, all of that. Part of the hallway education. And then the third thing that happens is that there are things that happen in the hallway that you try to participate in without getting in trouble or stopped by the principal in the hallway.
Are you selling candy?
And those things, well, there's business that happens in the hallway. Lot of businesses going on. There's also pranks that happen, little team building exercise. There's also the avoidance of the principal, little ability to kind of dart around and everything. I'm just saying, I got a hallway education. As many times as possible, get out of the classroom into the hallway, spend as much time in the hallway, and do cool shit in the hallway. Hallway education over classroom education all day, every day.
Bye, Pompliano.
I love all of you. I appreciate you guys. I'm just here to drop
Goodbye.
knowledge. Bye. See ya.